All right, Pouring Nation, I have been trying to replicate Fiona's reverse flower dip pour for a long time, and I think I've finally figured out how to do it with American products. So the things you're going to need: Vallejo pouring medium. This is very important because this is actually what creates those beautiful cells. You need a way to pour your paint on. I like these cups that I got from Amazon, which I'll link in the description below, but because they allow some of the paint, when you pour it on the side, to come back in and cover the middle, so you don't have a big open place where there's no paint when you're doing the pour. And these were super cheap. These are decorative cups for weddings and things like that. Then you need some paint. I have found that the paints that she recommends, the Amsterdam paints, work really well. Today we're going to use straight magenta, white, and black. You need some glue. Today I'm going to be using the craft glue here from Craft Smart, which I got at Michael's. I think this works really well for this method. Better than Elmer's or some of the other glues I've tried. And then obviously you need a cup, sticks, and a paper towel, which we will wet down to do the dip for. So I've already made up my glue here, but let me show you what I did. The glue mixture is going to be 3 parts of glue to 2 parts of water, and it is going to be very, very thin. Let me show you how thin here. So it's gonna not even make a mound, or maybe a teeny tiny bit, but essentially it's gonna immediately integrate. So that is 2 parts water, 3 parts glue. To make it easy, I just made too much, so I did 20 grams. My part is 20 grams, 20 grams. So I need 3 parts of craft glue, which means 20, 20, 20, so 60 grams of craft glue. And then I need 2 parts of water, 20, 20, so 40 grams of water. And I mixed it, half the water first, integrated it, and then half the water next. But anytime you're doing a painting like this, if you know ultimately you need 3 ounces and you're going to make 4 colors, then you can tell you need about 3/4 of an ounce of each color, and you can do your calculations backwards from there. So I'm going to make a little bit too much paint, but I want to make sure I have enough to finish it. And this is my pouring medium, 3 parts glue and 2 parts water, and it is very thin. So let's make up some colors. So the first color we're going to make is the white. And I'm going to make an ounce. So that means I need 1 part of the Vallejo pouring medium. So I'm going to do a little more than an ounce. So I'm going to do 10 grams. Okay, there's 10 grams of the pouring medium. I'm going to do 10 grams of my selected white. In this case, I have the titanium white. And then I'm going to do the equal amount of pouring medium. So I have 20 grams in there, so I'm going to do 20 grams. A little bit too much. I'm going to take a little bit out. There we go. And there's my white. And take a little bit extra time. I have both paint and the iridescent pouring medium. Again, this is the pearl medium. And the reason why these work is because the pearl medium actually weighs less than all the rest of the paints. And so that's what makes it come to the surface and create those beautiful, delicate cells on the outside. I just want to show you the consistency here. So this is going to make a little bit of a mound, and then it's going to disappear. So a little bit of a mound and then disappear, which is the consistency we want for all of our paints here. Next, we're going to do the same thing for the magenta. The magenta, doesn't have the pearl medium in it. So for magenta, I'm going to do the 20 grams of paint, and I'm going to do the same ratio. So instead of 10, 10, 40, sorry, 10, 10, and then 20, I'm going to do 20 of this and 20 of this. Mix that up really good too. And this is just slightly thicker. See how much? So this is making a mound, and that mound is staying. So I'm going to need a little bit of water. That's making a mound on a mound and then going away. Turn this off for a second. I'm going to compare. I still think that's a little bit too thick. That's more what I'm looking for. And the last color I'm going to do is black. And I'm going to just make up the rest black. So I'm going to zero out the cup. This is an empty cup. I'm going to put my cup here. So the first thing we're going to do here is cover my tile. I have an 8x8 tile. It's just sitting on a piece of wood here. So we're going to cover the tile first. So I'm going to do the same thing Fiona does, is she gets all the paint on. And then she drips it all back in, all the stuff she doesn't need. And we want to get rid of all the bubbles. So I'm going to put our cup in the middle here. And with this, we want to do a little bit of white in between every layer. And another thing I really like that Fiona does is right in the middle, she takes her cup, twists it half a turn, so that the stuff is going to come out the middle. Takes a popsicle stick and we're not going to do very much at all here in the middle. We're going to pull our cup off. One more time with the torch. All right, with the reverse dip, we're going to use a paper towel, but we want a paper towel that's much bigger so that when we pull up the corners, we're not pulling up the paint already. And she's done it with a dry paper towel, but I have found that it works better with a wet paper towel, so I'm just going to wet this. We're going to leave it folded. and put the middle right there without trying to move it too much. Make sure everywhere touches. We don't want to push too hard here or else you'll squish the paint, and we don't really want that. We want it to kind of stay where it was. And then we'll take each of these corners, and this is the tricky part. Take each of these corners. When we do the corners, we want to make sure that it stays open. Can't lift it up too much, you're going to bring the paint already. Want this to stay open. Do the same thing here. Lift it up and off. Now, as you can see, I pulled everything this way. That's why my paint is a little bit off this way. But look at these beautiful cells that are popping up. Just want to see if I can make it a little more even. Wow. Look at that. This is my best result that I have ever gotten yet. When we were doing this, we pulled up some of the paint along the edge here, so I'm just gonna look at those beautiful cells. Wow, this turned out way better than I could have anticipated. I think we are on to something here. Fiona, if you're seeing this, thank you very much. Wow, this is an amazing art form. I love it. And if you want to learn how to make cells similar to this, or big cells, small cells, I teach you how by varying the density of paints, which you can see in the video on the screen above.